Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
An outbreak of COVID-19 is tracked to a bar in East Lansing, and the number of infected people keeps rising.
New information leads to new action in the case of a local teenager whose death back in 2012 was ruled a suicide. The case of James Franklin tops our news tonight at 6.
James Franklin was just 17 years old when a friend found him hanging in the basement of a home in Trenton. Medical examiner ruled it a suicide, but James' family has said there has to be more to what happened. Now new information is leading to a new look at the case. Defender Sean Lay live with the reason Michigan State Police are now getting involved. Sean?
Big development tonight. The defenders are learning about Devin. Here's the deal. MSP now involved opening up a brand new investigation here because the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office tells us directly they want to know if a crime has been committed, so they have handed this case directly to MSP. Tonight, the defenders speaking with James Franklin's brother and this man, the man who found him hanging in a house here.
That's when I found him in the position that he was in.
Anthony Holman will never forget October 22nd, 2012.
And I cut him down instantly.
That's when he found his friend, 17-year-old James Franklin, hanging in the basement of this Trenton home. Police confirm a noose was around his neck.
Stuff just doesn't add up. It just doesn't.
Police were called by Franklin's friend who lived at the home. The medical examiner ruling Franklin's death a suicide. Franklin's brother, Elijah, telling the Local 4 defenders he still does not believe his brother killed himself.
The case needs to be reopened. It's unsolved still. You know, we don't have justice. We still want answers.
That's because the friend who called police that day, who is white, posted to Facebook that he killed the African-American teen by hitting him in the head with a hammer and then hung his body. Trenton police investigated the second time. The autopsy showed no trauma to Franklin's head and found those statements, quote, appear to be unfounded. This week, Trenton's chief posted to Facebook himself that in light of social unrest and to show transparency, the department is working with the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office, who today dropped the bombshell telling the defenders they want MSP on the case, saying, quote, there is information that was received that resulted in our request for MSP to investigate. Law enforcement expert Steve Dolan says if there's new evidence, get to the bottom of it.
It's not going to hurt them to look at it again. And you never know. It could maybe bring closure to the family either way.
Why do you think there's so much interest in this now?
Because we still hurt. We still want answers. And the city will not give up.
Back here live, the chief here in Trenton telling the defenders he wants full transparency, always has. He says anyone is welcome to come here and fill out a request to read every word of every page of the investigation they have done, in this case 2 investigations. Meantime, right here tomorrow night about this time, a protest here of the police in the name of justice for James Franklin. We're live in Trenton tonight. Sean Lay, Local 4 Defenders.
You got it. All right, Sean.
There are several new developments in the coronavirus pandemic on both the national and local levels.
Start with Governor Whitmer saying today Michigan could move into its next reopening phase by July 4th, but not this week. That comes as the state is reporting 221 new cases of COVID-19 and another 11 people dying from the virus in Michigan.
Today, health experts, including Dr. Anthony Fauci, testified before Congress. Dr. Fauci made it clear he has not been asked to slow testing and that testing will increase. He also said the first vaccine for COVID-19 could be ready by the end of the year.
State Republican legislators are putting forth a proposal to allocate $1 billion to help schools with their budgets as many districts face the possibility of layoffs. They and Governor Whitmer say they are waiting to learn how much federal funding is going to be available to help with that before they hammer out a final number.
Bars and restaurants were allowed to reopen on June 8th with the restriction that they use no more than 50% of their capacity. Well, now 2 weeks later, the Ingham County Health Department has issued a notice about an outbreak related to an East Lansing bar. Dr. Frank McGeorge joins us with what you need to know. Doc?
Yeah, Kim. Well, you know, as society and businesses re-engage in public activity, the ideal is that with precautions, there wouldn't be any additional spread. But frankly, as a realist, I would anticipate a degree of increased transmission. And that is where public health comes in, identifying hotspots and getting the word out so those flare-ups can get corrected. The Ingham County Health Department says at least 18 people who recently visited Harper's Restaurant and Brew Pub between June 12th and 20th have tested positive for COVID-19. They're advising people who are at the East Lansing establishment in that time frame to watch for symptoms in the 14 days following and get tested, even if you don't have symptoms. The health department found Harper's was following safety procedures related to capacity and table spacing, but
while that was the case, there are numbers of people crowded, and you're going to expect this at a place like that, crowded up at the bar, hanging out together.
There is also concern about crowded lines outside.
There was a sign about mask wearing, and it's very clear from the pictures that that didn't happen.
Harper's voluntarily opted to close temporarily late yesterday to implement a program to eliminate lines and to modify its HVAC system.
We clearly cannot be in every bar, every restaurant, and every other business every day looking at mask wearing and looking at social distancing. So we need some help. We need help from businesses and we need help from people.
So far, all of the people with cases linked to Harper's are between the ages of 19 and 23. About half are connected to Michigan State University. Some are from other counties. Now, this particular situation really highlights the important role that every individual has to decrease spread. Maintaining distance, mask use, and hand washing are always necessary because of the risk of asymptomatic and pre-symptomatic spread. Now, once a person, of course, has symptoms, they should certainly get tested and stay out of public contact.
You know, Doc, you mentioned the bar was modifying its HVAC system to reduce the spread. I'm wondering about your take on the claim from that Arizona mega church where President Trump is having a rally today. They say their ventilation system kills 99.9% of COVID within 10 minutes or so and is therefore safe. What do you know about that?
Well, there's a few elements to that. First, keep in mind that some transmission, of course, occurs through surfaces. That's not the majority of spread, but it's certainly enough that hand hygiene is important. And of course, ventilation systems will not remedy that source of spread. So the church says they are using an ionization system to filter the air that is circulated through their ventilation system. Now, ionization systems work by electrically charging particles in the air that pass over an electrostatic filter that they're attracted to, and it pulls those particles out. Now, while I obviously don't know the details of their system, the real issue is that while filtration and ventilation is really important to reduce indoor transmission, it does not prevent larger droplets or fine aerosols from spreading within the immediate area around an infectious person. So I would have to give this a be careful on the trust index. Frankly, filtration and ventilation are just one element of mitigating risk. Masks and distancing are always going to be important and still are here. Back to you.
Yep. Thanks for sorting it out for us, Dr. McGeorge. We appreciate it.
Coronavirus concerns have led the University of Michigan to cancel what would have been an even bigger fall event than football, perhaps. The school was set to host a debate between President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden. Victor Williams has more on the decision to withdraw that offer and the reaction on campus. Victor.
This would have been the verbal battleground for that second debate to happen in the 2020 election, but instead, it's now going to be taking place in Miami.
It's too bad that ended up getting relocated.
Some at the University of Michigan are downright disappointed with the announcement made by the Commission on Presidential Debates, stating the second presidential debate will now be held in Miami at the Adrian Arch Center of Performing Arts.
With everything that's going on, it's good that they're still able to have a debate, hopefully in person when it comes to be the time. But it's something I think the campus community was looking forward to be able to experience something of that magnitude.
The decision was made following U of M President Mark Schlissel's letter to the commission asking to be released from the agreement because it was unsafe due to COVID-19 concerns.
I'm disappointed. I was thinking it would be cool to have it here, but I think we have to be safe. I think it's the right thing to do. Maybe next time.
And the next debate will follow in the trend of staying in the southern region, taking place at Belmont University in Nashville, Tennessee. Reporting in Ann Arbor, Victor Williams, Local 4.
Thank you, Victor. Well, we told you about it yesterday here at 6. Delta Airlines is about to resume service to China from 2 U.S. cities, including Detroit.
That announcement immediately raising a few questions. Let's bring in our consumer investigator, Hank Winchester, with what will be done to make sure passengers on board are safe and still at a social distance. Hank?
This is a big move for Delta, the return of service from Detroit Metro to China. It is a move that many at the CDC and also at competing airlines will be watching closely. Delta is ready to get back to Asia and is focused on 2 U.S. cities as flights will resume soon. Here's what I know. Delta flights to China will begin this week. Each city will have 2 flights per week. Seattle to China begins on Thursday. Detroit to China service begins in July. The Detroit itinerary will be Detroit to Shanghai with a stop in Seoul. The plane is an Airbus A350 with 306 seats. However, we're told that not all seats will be filled. So what will be done on board to make sure you, the passenger, and the crew are safe and kept at a safe social distance? If you are flying this route, here's what we're told. Crews will be using electrostatic spraying of the cabin before each departure from Detroit or Seattle. The main cabin will be capped at 60%, middle seats likely kept open depending on the configuration of the aircraft. There's also a new state-of-the-art air circulation system that will help with overall air quality and flow while in flight. A spokesperson for Delta tells me, we are excited to resume our service between the U.S. and China as economic and social activities start to resume. And if everything goes well with the direct flights from Seattle and also here from Detroit Metro, Delta will expand service from other hubs, including Atlanta and Minneapolis, direct to China. We're here at Metro. Hank Winchester. Help me, Hank.
Okay, Hank. Well, you may have heard ownership of the Lions has been passed down within the family.
Ahead in sports, Brady will have more from Sheila Ford Hamp, including how she feels every time the Lions lose a game. Here comes Ben.
Hey, Devin and Kim, crisp finish to tonight. We got that cold front through. Things are starting to change, but how long can we enjoy this very comfortable regime? We'll check it out for you next.
And before he delivered his most famous words, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. took a walk down Woodward Avenue. That walk and the speech he delivered at Cobo Hall still resonates today. We'll hear from someone who was there. That's next.